And welcome back to Saving People, Queering Things, the supernatural podcast where everyone is mentally stable.
So it's a supernatural episode.
Today we are pulling up to season 7, episode 13, The Slice Girls. I'm your host, Noah, pronouns he, him.
I'm Sam, pronouns they, them.
I'm August, pronouns they, them.
Also back with us this week, longtime fan, 13th time caller, Renny.
Hello.
Woo! How long has it been since you last came on?
Couldn't tell you.
Me
Like a
neither.
season? Sometime in season 6? I don't remember which episode.
I think
it was 5. Yeah, I think it was season 5.
Maybe season 5. Okay, it's been a couple seasons.
Anything
Happy to
maybe
be
you
back.
need to update the listeners on in your life? Any new pets? That's the real question.
No, I'm not allowed pets.
It's really
Oh.
tragic.
It's so sad. I just have neighborhood cats that I pet.
Yeah, Renny got to take over custody of the neighborhood pets because Renny lives in the same place, like the same basement suite that I used to live in.
Oh,
And so
yes.
now she has custody of all the neighborhood cats
That's
Yes.
pretty magical.
Particularly the one calico one that
Yeah.
comes and says,
that wants to come in the house all the time.
yes.
And you don't let them?
No, I mean, I officially don't let them, but I do let them sneak in.
Oh no, the cat accidentally came in.
No, it's fine.
I
don't think my landlords are gonna
That was a
listen.
joke.
I really,
If you're subletting to a Renny in your basement, hey, that part was a joke.
you didn't
Just
hear any of that.
coincidence.
You
Different
actually
person.
you actually need to leave now.
Share the show, though. Anyway, the question of the day that I have for my co-hosts is: if you hooked up with somebody and they had a kid the next day, how would you handle that?
Like, are you talking about this exact scenario where you know it's
yes.
your kid?
Well,
Are you talking about a scenario where it's an Amazonian child, or are you talking about a scenario
Yes.
where it's just like a regular child?
no, Amazonian for sure.
Okay.
People can,
Oh well, I would not react well. I can tell you that.
Yeah. I think I would pursue the adoption route. Yeah.
Here, take this child. They're 7. Oh, actually, they're 10. What? Sorry. Okay, you waited too long. They're 12 now. What's the deal? Are you saying yes or
Okay, actually, no, you can't adopt them anymore because they're now legally
They're
of
now-
no?
age.
They're now an
20.
adult. Oops.
Yeah.
Ridiculous premise. It's a ridiculous premise, this episode.
Yeah, it's a little very problematic.
Mm,
Didn't love it.
Mm-hmm.
really,
Yeah,
not going to your top episodes list?
You know, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Maybe the bottom 30 so far.
Oh, that's it's a low ranking.
I
Yeah.
remembered this episode being different than what it was.
I think because I only remember the one scene in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think I usually only remember the like sort of high stakes emotional scene where Dean is talking to Emma, and I don't remember that the rest of the episode is kind of blah.
Yeah.
But you
Fair.
know, we'll still have lots to talk about.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, for sure. I'm ready. Speaking of, let's get everybody caught up since you've met all of your hosts for today. If you guys haven't watched Supernatural recently, here's what you've missed on the road so far. First up, we're going to have August recapping the show up to this point.
Okay.
Are you ready?
You know, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, give you a little countdown. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so Sam and Dean are these brothers that are hunters and they stop the apocalypse, but unfortunately the death seems to really follow them around. So their dad is dead, their mom is dead, Ellen and Joe are dead, Bobby's dead, Cass is dead. Most of the people that they have ever worked with are dead. So now we're sitting in a situation where there is these monsters called the Leviathans who are coming from purgatory, and they're trying to stop them, but they have no idea how to do that. And they've just lost all of their support system. So they are just kind of rambling around, driving around in not the Impala, which really sucks. And yeah, it's not a fun time.
Damn, very nice. Very nice.
Well done.
But yeah,
So-
that catches us up.
I like that.
Good
It
job.
gets us right up to the verge of this episode. And now we're going to toss it over to Renny to recap this week's episode. Are you ready?
Yep.
Renny
Convincing.
knows the deal better than maybe any guest host that
So
we
prepared.
have. Because Renny has been being forced to do this since season 1.
Forced. I'm
Sorry.
here willingly.
Sorry, you are here willingly.
Okay, I'll give you a little countdown. Everybody ready to be impressed by Rennie's skill? 3, 2, 1, go.
A man is brutally murdered, as usual. Dean has sex with a pretty obviously sketchy woman. He's clearly off his game. Sam is working the case normally. Dean is looking for Bobby's flask and figuring out that the woman he had sex with has a kid who's growing up from infant to 6 years old in one day. They learn it's Amazon warriors and that Dean is a dad. His daughter tries to trick him and kill him, but he doesn't fall for it, and Sam kills her. Lost plotline. R.I.P.
Beautiful.
With
Incredible.
time to
Amazing.
spare, I'm going to let the timer keep going so we can hear the good music, though. So
Very,
Okay.
Wow.
very thorough.
Everyone at home, there was a full 10, 12 seconds left when Renny got to the end there. Wow.
Yeah,
Won't have to edit that one at all.
Wow. Good.
Incredible.
Not that I
no
ever
one's
do.
admitting that he edits our recaps.
Sometimes I take out silence. It's fine.
It's fair. It's fair.
Sometimes there's a few too many ums. I'm judicious about it.
You are. I'm sorry. I'm really not trying to throw shade at anyone today, but I think I'm doing it accidentally.
It's just natural, it's built in. It's fine. We get it. Message received, August. Anyway, now that we are all caught up, it's time to get into this week's hunt. Today we're going to be pulling up to Season 7, Episode 13, The Slice Girls, through the theme of duty.
Good job, Noah.
Can't say anything about it, otherwise I will laugh.
Sorry. Noah, your initial thoughts on this episode?
Fantastic theme, just because it's fun to say.
Okay, you're a child.
Yes, I know. But anyway, somebody out there was laughing. Hey, if you were laughing, hey, hit us up. Hit me up. Anyways, this was an interesting episode. It's wildly stupid premise to go off of, and I'm not the biggest fan.
The execution of this episode just is one of those ones where, like, the idea of like a race where they like have kids and the kids grow up immediately, like the whole like Amazons and like they have to kill their father, like that's all interesting, but the like execution of it is like mediocre.
It's lacking for sure. I do like, the concept of kids that grow up super fast and like, so you have to deal with those consequences a lot sooner is very interesting, but it just falls flat in this episode.
They don't give it the stakes that it really could have.
Yeah.
Like you kind of know immediately that she's not going to survive, but there's no chance she's going to survive. So there's no like it doesn't feel like there's any real risk that you'll get emotionally attached to the idea of having a kid. Like you can't, because we don't really properly meet her until like we're basically already like, she's going to be dead in like 5 minutes because that episode's going to be over.
And the fact that they showed Amy at the beginning sort of led me to believe that Sam was going to be the one that did it, because like it's the perfect juxtaposition of that situation.
And Sam
in a weird way, because like
Sam even explicitly says that.
Yeah.
Sam even like draws that parallel, and in kind of a little bit of a cruel way. Honestly.
It's a little aggressive.
He's really harsh about it.
Sam is not very nice in this episode.
He's harsh the whole episode.
That was kind of an asshole in this episode, to be
There were
fair.
a few moments where he was like, he had a bit more of a fun vibe to it, but most of the episode it was just like ragging on Dean and making him feel stupid for his decisions at times.
His actual hunting is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like his
Sam
strategy.
is the only person hunting in this episode.
Yes, absolutely.
Dean is
Dean
crying.
is drinking, having sex, crying, and then freaking out about being attacked.
Yeah, Dean is doing worse again.
Yeah.
He thought he was doing better. He's doing worse again.
Yeah, his whole coping mechanisms are coming back to bite him in the ass or stab him in the face. Attempt to.
Or cut off his hands and feet.
Yeah, carved into his chest. Which starting off is such a gruesome sight of hands and feet missing, and that was rough. That was a gory start. I had just eaten. Please, girl.
It's a gory cold open.
Mm-hmm.
Also, okay, maybe it's just me because I'm obsessed with Bobby, but is that Bobby's flask that he's using, or is that the one from the 40s that he got last episode?
It's Bobby's flask.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Weird
That's
that
why
they
he
would make
wants to
such
get
a
it
big...
back.
Yeah, which makes sense, but
I
it's
think
weird
that's
that
why, like
the episode right before he gets a fancy flask from the past and he's like, I'm going to hold on to this forever. And then this episode, they're like, he's actually not using it anymore. He's using Bobby's.
I think, it's
To be
like,
fair, he's trying to hold on to.
Absolutely.
I think it's like that front flask broke. What did he say? It broke? Or what did he say?
Sprung a leak.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is from the 40s. So, I mean, do you think it would actually be better constructed?
Do we think it would be better, or do we think it would have like bad metals in it that gives you actually like some poisons, some toxins?
Maybe Dean realized his flask is giving him lead poisoning. He's like, maybe I shouldn't drink out of the flask.
Maybe not. It's actually irradiated. That's weird. You can travel through time with it. I wouldn't drink out of stuff that I traveled through time with if I had other options.
Yeah, and he does. He has Bobby's flask. That is the whole, like, if he doesn't leave Bobby's flask, this do they figure out in time? Like, I feel like this episode goes very differently if the flask is not involved.
That's true, but I think it would have.
True.
I think it would have ended because Sam leaves Dean there. Which, first of all, why would you leave him behind find if you know that you're safest together.
Sam's
and
done
they
this
know where
twice
he's
recently.
staying. Right?
Sam's done this like twice in like 3 episodes.
It's
He's
kinda
like
fucked.
left and actively and passively and really just depressed and a little bit suicidal Dean, like on his own. And we're like, well, maybe whatever we're hunting will come after you, but like,
Well,
you'll
in
be
this
fine.
one, they know they're coming after him.
Mhm.
He's
And-
literally about to be murdered, and he's like, "Okay, see you later."
And they know where they are staying. Like, why would you not keep him on the move and go to this random professor together? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, why is Dean safer alone in the hotel room?
Mhm.
Right.
Or in
And
the
it's-
abandoned building.
It's also interesting that like Sam doesn't feel like doesn't seem to care or have urgency about the fact that they know that at this point they think what's her name? Lydia is coming for him and doesn't seem to have any urgency, but then as soon as he finds out that it's going to be the daughter, all of a sudden he's like, "Oh no, I got to get to." It's like, okay, but
It's
they're
probably because he knows that Dean has a soft spot for kids.
Right. So
yeah, that's true. It's like,
thinks
okay,
that-
Dean could handle himself if it was Lydia.
Yeah.
But if it's a kid and also like his kid,
you know,
there's
he
a
does know
whole
Dean's
level.
Mhm.
but it does seem like a pretty massive risk to take to be like, we could have 2 of us up against Lydia, or it could just be you on your own.
Yeah.
We've already established that they can throw 250-pound men through walls like it's nothing. So you'll be fine, Dean. I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a bit of like, shall we say, some sexism happening where it's like, oh, the killers are women. Oh, they're not scary.
Yeah, they're also so easy to kill. Like I think like
Yeah.
you do a
Yeah,
like
they're so powerful and they die with one bullet.
yeah, just
And
like a normal
presumably a
human.
normal bullet.
Mhm.
Yeah, I literally, when he killed the one who was pretending to be the detective, I said to August, "Did that work?
That's it.
It was that easy?"
Well,
I was
like,
expecting her to get back up for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I also when
Renny
my
said-
first walked around, I was like, "What? That was too
Renny-
easy."
Yeah, Renny said the same thing. Renny was like, what was the point of like having that scene? Like what was that scene there to do? Like to show that one was coming after Sam? Like we knew one was coming.
I think it was
That's
just to break Sam's phone so he couldn't call Dean and warn him. So he had to rush there. And there's like
Oh.
some dramatic stakes,
So
but
convenient.
Kid,
still, he made it back
Still.
really fast.
Still, you couldn't have him like call Dean and like Dean doesn't pick up because that also would.
And we've
Yeah.
seen that like multiple times in the past few episodes. So not that out of pocket.
The point is, they're really bad at communicating in this entire episode. They're so bad at communicating. This is like the height of their like. They're so bad at communicating about literally everything.
It's fair.
Like they're bad at communicating about the case. They're bad at communicating about their emotion. They can't seem to talk about Bobby, and they're just really not doing a great job of like understanding or like not. You know, like they're both super reactive to what the other person says. I noticed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But also shocked that the other person is reactive at the same time. It's like,
Yeah.
you just did the same thing. What are you doing here?
Well, we
That's
were
a-
talking about this a couple episodes too, about how like they seem to, in their grief, instead of turning towards each other, they're turning away from each other.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they're trying to solve it in totally different ways.
Yeah.
Do we think that's why Sam leaves him alone? Is because Bobby comes up with the wind blowing the paper, and then Sam like runs away right away? Do we think that's him
Ooh.
avoiding?
We have talked about. We did talk about.
Ooh.
Yeah, in a couple episodes, we talked about this, and we talked about how Sam's instinct is to try and like solve the problem.
Yeah.
When instead of deal with his grief, and that's a really good example of it.
Mhm.
He's like, "Oh, okay, I got information. I'm going to go and do something because I'd
Yeah,
rather."
like Sam is very action, just do the job. I'm
Don't talk
on it
about it.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I also like through the lens of duty. It's interesting. I was thinking, I wonder if Sam has a sense of duty to Bobby to like work the job well.
That's actually fits with how Sam has been recently with several cases.
It fits his personality too in general, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yes, absolutely.
He's like gotta carry on the legacy and like do Bobby proud.
Yeah, he just wants to focus on the work and kind of move forward and do that to honor him. And Dean's
Mhm.
like, wait, we need to like feel this.
Yeah, and Dean's also like our like we've got to feel the weight of all of this, and also like Sam's like I want to solve other cases, and Dean is like I would like to kill the thing that is responsible for Bobby being dead, and
Yeah.
I don't actually give a shit about anything else right now.
Mhm.
Which
Yeah.
like they both think different things, like in terms of like that theme again, like they both think different things are like their responsibility, their duty in this situation. Even like when you think about like Dean and his kid, like he's trying to think about like what's the right thing to do here, not just as a hunter, but like also as like parent, even though he's like just found out he's a parent, which again is such an insane concept that they don't do justice to, because you just get like this one scene.
Yeah.
It could have been such a character arc, I feel like.
Or like if she'd gotten away, like if she'd gotten away and then we revisit this down the line in this season, like so much more interesting.
That's what I mean. Like then those episodes in between, he would be like thinking about it, knowing he's a dad, like, you know, it would be affecting him.
Wondering where she's at, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, like Renny said to me at the end of the episode when we watched it, like this episode doesn't like further really any plot or character stuff, because like we already know how Dean sort of feels about like parental roles. Like we've seen him with Ben, like that storyline's a much better example of like how he handles that. This is like,
do we think that part of that is because the writers treat women like shit most of the time?
do we think?
Question mark?
I think
almost like that rampant sexism on display in this whole plot line. Like, wow, we have a lot of women in this episode. Do we get to know any of them as meaningful characters?
We only get 2 names, right?
Oh,
We get Lydia and Emma.
Oh my god.
We don't even know the lead Amazonian's name. We don't know the detective ladies. Maybe we get her last name, but they don't use it ever again.
Does it pass Bechdel?
No, it absolutely does not pass Bechdel.
Even with the ritual stuff?
Well, because none of those other women are named.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Doesn't pass the fucking Bechdel test. And it's an episode where
about
like there's so many
warrior.
women. The only male characters in this episode that like have speaking lines are Sam and Dean.
And the coroner.
And
And
we get to coroner better than we get to know any of the Amazon. Like he gets
Which
more
kind of
lines.
sucks because I
Because
thought
the
he was
Amazons are
pretty
also
funny.
like so cool as a monster.
They were more interesting for sure.
And they just don't flesh them out. And then they just disappear.
Yeah.
Poof, they're gone.
Do they come back later on, please, in 2 years, 2 seasons? That'd be so fun, because then maybe at that point there's a break in the tribes, and some of them, like, you know how we've gotten good vampires and good werewolves, and like having a tribe of Amazonians who become hunters would be so cool. But that's a story for another day. August literally just did the Kermit drinking tea meme. Like, that's none of my business.
Unintentionally.
What else about this episode? Ooh, this made it in my notes because I'm obsessed. I was halfway through this episode, had just gotten to Dean staking out Lydia's, which, first of all, he is staking it out so terribly. He's directly on the street right outside of her door. If she looks up for half a second, she's going to see him.
In a really distinct car. Like, I know that it's not the Impala, but it's still not like they're not driving a fucking Prius. Like, it's not something that would actually blend into any environment. It's still incredibly recognizable. Like, if you see them in it once, you're going to recognize it the second time.
Which we don't know. Well, we know Sam had the car when Dean went to the bar and hooked up. So we can assume they took her car back. But she's going to recognize him. He's got a very distinct jawline. Get better about that, Sam. Dean.
And it's like a loud-ass car, too. Like, you hear the clock driving away. Like, I don't know.
But he also says, I hate when this happens. Like, how many times do you hook up with people who have really augmented growth cycles? Like, what? What?
When has this ever happened before?
I hate when I overhear infants talking in full sentences.
Which is so creepy, by the way. Like,
so creepy.
one of the creepiest things they've ever done, I think, genuinely.
Did not like that.
This like preschooler or like elementary school aged voice coming out of a child in a crib. Deeply concerning.
Did not like that. But right as that scene happened, I got a notification on my phone that John Bellion came back and released a whole 9-minute video about how he's making his new song and released a bunch of clips of it. So hey, everybody out there who relies on me for John Bellion news, go check it out. It's on his Twitter. It's on my Twitter. Go listen to it now. Kid again. Let's fucking go.
You didn't really try at all for an appropriate segue for that, did ya?
No. I just did it where it happened to me, and I just wanted everybody to know because it's really good. It's been 6 years and I'm just so happy.
I'm very happy for you.
But anyway, back to the episode. John Bellion rant. Check, ching, check it off the list. All good.
If you're playing bingo, if you're playing Noah bingo, you can check that square off.
Oh, we should make bingo cards for next season. That'd be pretty cool.
I think that we talked about doing it for this season and then we got busy and we didn't do it. We should absolutely do bingo cards for next season. I think that'd be really fun.
But all of you should do one for one of the other people so that you don't know what's on yours.
Oh, well, I meant like release it to the fans.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
let the
we should
fans
also-
play
Oh,
along
that's
too.
even better.
Really let people play along.
Yeah,
If you
maybe-
have ideas for bingo,
What if we make our
send
own
them our way.
individual ones for another person and then we collaborate on one to put out to the fans and like randomize it, et cetera, et cetera. There's websites for that, I'm sure.
there is.
Anywho, this isn't our brainstorming session.
I had a rewrite suggestion.
Ooh,
Ooh.
yes, please.
So what if the daughter actually did try to escape and actually did go to Dean and she wasn't lying? Like they could have done so much with that. Like
Yep.
he helps her escape. She learns to hunt with them. Like it could be could have been a whole thing.
Yeah.
And the other women are like looking for her, so they're being chased.
Yeah, they could have given it a little plot line, even if it doesn't last like a ton of episodes. Even so, it's
two or
just like
three.
yeah, even if that's just suddenly becomes this like immediate thing they have to deal with.
Especially because like she is strong as fuck. Like they
Yeah.
could have used someone like that on their
You
team.
use it.
Yes.
And then you get Dean like struggling with the like technically this child is like 2 weeks old, but also they're stronger than I am. Like, how do I ethically feel
And
about like
also, I'm their dad.
yeah. How do I feel about like letting them hunt?
Mhm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
should I be protecting her? Like, what
Or
is that?
training her like
train-
in combat and stuff.
Which it'd be like
Am
his
I worse
situation-
than John?
And also, I feel like you would also have the element of like him not fully trusting her as well.
Yeah.
Being like,
Totally.
okay, I'm gonna take you under my wing and whatever, but also like have one eye open the whole time because like
Mhm.
you don't know.
and Sam too. Like, and
Mhm.
like there'd be also like that would ratchet up the tension between
Oh
Sam
yeah.
and Dean.
Mhm.
Because I feel like Sam is not going to trust, and even if he does, it's going to be super wary, and so that's going to create that like tension between them.
Mm-hmm.
You'd get the Amy sort of connection, but in a especially if like you could still end that arc in the same way. Like
Yeah.
something could go wrong, and Sam could still like if this is not a character that they wanted to keep around, which like I think is a shame. They should like stop killing all
Oh.
your female characters,
Could
but
you
like.
imagine Emma punching like through a Leviathan, like just hitting their chest so hard it just like caves in and then comes back and shit, and like, oh, that would be
Sick.
so cool.
Yeah, if suddenly they have a team up, like suddenly they have another member of the team, like they're so isolated right now. If suddenly they had like something, like
Yeah.
someone else in their lives to focus on, even if it was from a sense of like duty and responsibility
Mhm.
to her.
See, we just wrote a way more interesting episode than this.
Do we think that Eric Kripke like enjoyed this episode a lot because he's always wanted the boys to be isolated and pushing them further and further?
Yeah, I mean, he's
And
not
have-
even in charge anymore at this
I know,
point.
that's what I'm saying. He probably watched this and was like, hey, yes, Sarah Gamble.
That was a
That's
great
what-
impression.
That's what Kripke sounds like in my head.
Please, I can't believe you've never done a Kripke impression before. You need to continue doing that.
Perfect.
Now essential. Oh, okay, sorry. I just went and found out who this episode was written by, and this episode is written by my least favorite writing team on the Supernatural show, and that is Eugenie Ross Lemming and Brad Buckner. They have many crimes,
Mm.
not some of which I cannot speak of yet, but
Yeah.
I do not trust them as writers. So that
Nuts.
everything they've done is bad, but like they've written some bad stuff for the show, and some like just like yeah. Again, not all of their work is that way, but like I'm not surprised to see them on an episode like this. That's not great to its characters.
Did they kill Bella?
I don't think so. I don't think they were around at that point.
Okay, cool.
They're going to be around for a while as writers on
Damn.
the show, but I believe they joined the writing team. I don't think they've joined the writing team until season 5 or 6,
Okay.
but
heard.
I am not going to fact check that right now.
The conversation that the brothers have in the car at the end was maybe the best writing of the episode, in my opinion. The conversation is good. They get some of their frustrations out, and it does genuinely feel like sibling conversation. Like when Dean says, "You're just bigger," and there's a pause, and Sam's like, "What?" He's like, "I don't know. Like, just move on. Ignore that." It's good. I like.
Yeah, they're sort of having this like frustrating argument and like totally missing each other, but it also feels like very appropriate for where they're at.
Yeah.
I think what I said to August was they suck at caring about each other. It's like Sam's whole thing that he's saying is don't die, please. I need you. But he's saying it in a way that's like makes it Dean's fault if he gets killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's making Dean feel more weight than he already feels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Dean is just not giving Sam any sort of reassurance that he's that, you know, like,
Yeah.
and obviously he doesn't have any in him to give, but they're really, yeah.
That sort of leads me into my mixtape suggestion for this week's episode. I went with the vibe that Dean has through most of the episode, partially because of Bobby and partially because he realizes that he might be a father and he is struggling with that. So I picked the song Navigating by 21 Pilots off their baller new album. Everybody go listen to it. And it talks about, pardon my delay, I'm just navigating my mind and my head, and I'm trying to figure out what these thoughts are about. Just give me some space, give me some time, and I'll come back and I will figure my shit out as best as I can. But I'm shook loose right now, kind of vibe. And I think that's pretty accurate to where Dean is at.
That is,
Yeah, cool.
That is very accurate.
Okay, Noah, your suggestion helped me pick this, so thank you.
Aha.
I am, full disclosure, going through my heartbreak playlist.
As you should.
And the song Skip This Part by Kelly Clarkson is what I'm picking. It's about a breakup, but it can totally be about loss too. She's basically saying like this part in the immediate aftermath of this hard thing is brutal and I wish I could skip it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what both brothers are experiencing, and they're trying to do that in their own ways. Sam is throwing himself into work and Dean is throwing himself not into work. They're both just trying to skip the pain of their grief.
Damn. That's a good suggestion.
Good suggestion.
Thanks.
I wanted to pick something based on the Amazons and like what I would have hoped for like the show to do rather than what it actually did, because I think what they actually did with this, like with them, is pretty disappointing. But I think that a funny, aspirational playlist would have been Girls Run the World. Because I wish
Oh my gosh.
we had gotten more badass Amazons in this episode.
Yeah, I'm glad you went that direction. I was thinking that too.
Thank you.
It's fantastic.
Do you have one, Sam?
I don't. I am struggling.
You can just move on. You just cannot have one.
That is also true. If you need a John Bellion song to put in there, I got you.
Sam's gonna be like, I've suddenly become very interested in John Bellion.
Actually,
Totally my suggestion, not.
that'd be like the third time it's happened in the show's history. Not with Sam every time, obviously, but like when somebody comes up empty.
Noah's like, have a John Bellion song.
For every mood.
It's actually an impressive skill.
It's about his songwriting. He just writes for so many different moods. It's not my fault.
You should make a PowerPoint presentation of like, why is John Bellion the best?
You know
John-
what? We've talked a few times about doing a Pod Squad presentation.
I think we should do,
Thing.
I think we should try and do one like this fall winter.
Okay.
Be really fun. Do a PowerPoint party.
Mine would just
It's
be
all gets
about
cut from the
like,
episode, but yes.
yeah, mine will just be about all the songs that you already know and love that were actually written by John Bellion. And you just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Trumpets by Jason Derulo. Monster by Eminem and Rihanna.
Did not. That one I didn't know. I knew the other one.
Memories by Maroon 5.
You can't. You're like spoiling your presentation here.
You're right.
I mean, you can continue, but
No, it's fine. It's fine. Daisies by Katy Perry. Anyway. Drugs and the Internet by Love. Sorry.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
That's it.
It's got range. Boy's got range.
Mhm, mhm.
Does anyone have any more notes about this episode?
I did have one other bit that I really liked, which is that the Amazonian playing a cop, who I wish we had a name for, but oops. I really liked that she saw through their FBI disguise and picked them out as hunters, and then was like, oh, and also you remember those serial killers from a while back? That's them.
Finally,
That's
Finally-
still coming up.
finally, someone's smart enough to like recognize their very not disguises.
You know, they aren't even wearing hats. Like
They're not trying anymore. I feel like they were
No.
trying for like a couple episodes to kind
At
of disguise
most.
themselves very badly, and now they've given up.
yeah.
They're like, if someone recognizes us from the like fact that we're in a national man manhunt, then you know what? That's their business.
I'm
I
a
also
little
like-
shocked that we didn't get like a few episodes of them going overseas or to a different country and hunting there for a while.
Yeah.
Didn't have
Any
the
other
budget.
show? Yeah.
Also, like the police have just stopped looking for them.
Yeah. Well, didn't they fake their death by killing the other ones?
Oh, right.
So the cops think they got them.
Yeah. But they're
But-
still recognizable.
Yeah, especially because they're fucking huge.
And they keep pretending to be FBI. Like, if you're trying to hide from the law, you don't pretend to be the law.
Stupid.
What were you gonna say?
Just that you pointed out that the picture that they had for the wanted ad online was the Bieber haircut for.
Oh, yeah, they're so
It
young.
was so long ago.
It's so funny.
Such terrible pictures.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So funny.
Is that when Henderson picks them up?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
from season 2.
Okay.
But
Damn.
they're just such staged, terrible photos. It's
Yeah.
very funny.
So
Very
bad.
funny to see now because they were like pretty baby faced at that point, and they're really not anymore.
Yeah.
Like even Sam doesn't look like, I think Sam technically is still in his 20s at this point. He's in his very late 20s. He's maybe he's about 30, I think. But like he doesn't look like a baby anymore.
I'm about to be
His age.
Dean's age at the start of the show
Aww.
in a couple of months.
Whoa.
26, dude.
hmm
Almost.
It's
Aw.
weird. It's weird.
hmm
So this is 7 years later. Yeah. Okay. One other thing I did like or would like to point out, I didn't enjoy it. It was nasty, but branding all of the Amazonian trainees with the same brand at the same time without cleaning it in any sort of way, burning off any of the melted flesh. That
Oh,
can't
I was
be
like,
sanitary.
why are you not putting it back in
Like,
the
maybe-
fire first?
I
At
had
least
the
have like
same
3
thought.
and like pull one out, brand one, put it back, pull the second one out, brand the next
Yeah.
one. Like rotate them out, please. God,
The health code
they're
violation.
gonna die of like hepatitis something. Like this is bad.
Yeah,
That's
it's not gonna
awful.
be the Winchesters that kill them. It's gonna be
They're just gonna die out because of
Their
Some-
infected burn wounds.
bloodborne pathogens right on their wrist too. So like it's going straight into the veins.
Yeah.
It is. I have questions too about like what. So they're super strong, but like, do they have any other abilities? Like, are they like? Yeah.
Yeah, do they heal fast?
Oh yeah,
Do
do
they
they heal
teach them
fast?
knife skills too? Because like they all kill them by cutting them up
True.
and carving into their chest, but like they're
Right. You would
days
think that's
old.
hard.
Right. You'd think you'd need some training,
Yeah.
but it's not just inherently.
Since you just started existing.
Also, are we saying that because there were like 7 girls in that training sequence, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
the ritual, there were like 7 of them. Are we saying that 7 different Amazonians all went out and like hooked up on the same night?
But more because they were just investigating like 3 or 4 others.
So like if we can assume there's this many each time that there was a murder, that's like
Yeah.
40 murders that are unaccounted for in the count. Like what
Even
are
if, even if it's like 10 murders every
People
2 years
died,
in a
Renny.
different state,
That's some shit police work.
like 10 plus murders, 10 plus murders.
Right.
In 2 years in different states where people are dismembered. That's not.
Also, has no one looked up that symbol yet?
Nobody cares,
Especially if
actually.
it's
They're just
shown
like,
up
it's a
in
weird
each of those
symbol.
other cities. Like that's
They're like, we
fucked.
don't know what this is.
Why
Nobody
isn't this a
even
bigger
said-
deal than the Zodiac killer?
Like even
what?
if you have no knowledge of supernatural and no willingness to consider that as an option, you should still be able to find a pattern.
This story
Yeah, and also,
would not be able
why-
to last
where
in
is-
2024 because the true crime girlies would have been all over it and they would have been taking these people down. They would have been like exposing everything,
So true.
Also, like, where's the real F?
right?
Yeah, in a case like
Yeah.
this.
Especially
Also, the-
whenever the coroner comes up with the whole reason.
Yeah, they're like confused why the FBI is there. It's like, well, this is a pattern and a serial killer.
I think that's because they were trying to throw them off, though, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Because
I
that
think
was
it's
the.
that-
Oh,
was-
that's true because she wasn't actually
She's one of them.
Mhm.
right.
But yes, fair.
But the fact that nobody else is asked, and the
But
fact
also, like,
that the
where
FBI
is
is not
the
there.
actual FBI?
Yeah,
Mhm.
because like the real FBI,
They're
even
not-
if he called them and was like, we got it under control, like that's not how the FBI works.
No.
To be fair, I don't really know how the FBI actually works, but like I'm pretty sure that's not how they work.
Which another note I had about that is that Dean in the beginning of the episode just making up the benefits package stuff, just like riffing, just talking out of his ass, like, oh yeah, 10% copay. What the fuck is that? 10% copay is nothing. The FBI should be doing 100% copay.
Like that's a really
what?
bad. That's actually a really shitty health plan.
It's pretty bad.
That's
Sir,
a really
have you
bad
ever
deal.
had a health plan? I don't think so.
No, we have
knows the word
they don't get
copay.
health insurance from their job.
No.
literally never.
It's so
Literally know
bad.
nothing. They do a lot of making up stuff that the FBI can and can't do. Like Sam also does the whole like, we'll stop wiretapping your house to the professor. Like
Yeah, put in a good word with the IRS.
just
It's
making
like,
up
okay.
shit that is so
Yeah.
unbelievable. Anyone who
Yeah.
knows anything about anything.
Oh, can we also mention the my housekeeper needs a green card?
Oh yeah.
What the
Oh my
fuck?
god.
That's
Like,
such
what
a
are you implying here?
fucked.
That's so gross.
Like there's
Mhm.
just I don't even want to unpack it, but there's just so
I
many
don't.
things in that statement that are
I
wrong.
don't. It's just problematic from top to bottom. It's like
Every angle.
So many,
Oh,
like
sir.
the writers seem like they just hate women so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so much.
Also, the fact that all the Amazonians were white, like that's not how that
Mm.
shit works. Like, what are you doing?
Oh boy.
There
It's
should
in
have
the
been-
name. It's in the name.
Oh boy.
The Amazon. Where's the Amazon based, guys?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, we're missing some things here.
Come on.
This is not adding up. There's just a lot of logical things that just don't. You're like, what is? Did we think
Yeah.
about this plot line very long, or did we just kind of go, we need an episode here? I know Amazons and Dean has to kill his own kid.
What if women murdered?
What if women were like strong?
and also
But
bad. at-
also not and could be defeated with one bullet.
Yes.
But like
yeah.
their big weakness is their sternum. So if you hit them there, they're
That's like the
done.
most sexist kind of like logic
Oh.
of like, what if women? Well, of course we have strong women. They're just also weak because they're women. It's like, what the fuck?
It would have been
Why?
so much
Yeah,
better.
we're
if
also
they
not
had
going to give them names
Nope.
or really much plot at all.
any sort of
Then just make them
characteristics
kind of menacing.
besides like cult. Like that's all we're gonna.
Yeah,
Your
they have a
character,
culty vibe.
cult.
They don't have a good argument too for like why they do what they do. Like they're trying to like
Yeah, there's no like talk about motivation other than in the
No.
lore, but like,
But that's even like speculative at best.
for so that they can
yeah,
like
we don't get
so they can like continue to like survive as a species.
But they never explain like why you have to kill the father. Like maybe like they say it's part of the ritual.
Sacrifice to the goddess or something.
Yeah, but again,
Oh,
then
right.
why
They did
didn't we
talk about
get
that a lot.
the god? Then why didn't we get like again? If you want to make it more interesting, like bring in the goddess. Like you gotta
Yeah.
like they've done that
Yes.
before. Like bring in a
Yeah.
that's how you
Where is
stop
this
it.
goddess?
And instead, you just have, and then they just disappear. Then they just kind of cut down, and you're like, and Sam and Dean are like, well, I guess we just wait until they pop up again. Like, you're just gonna wait till there's more murder.
Yeah.
Also,
Mhm.
presumably this has been happening for like centuries.
Every 2 years.
Yeah.
And how the fuck
Like,
has nobody
how-
paid attention to that?
Yeah.
Also, should there
How,
be
how
this-
have they not dealt with this before?
Mm-hmm.
also there should be way more of them.
Yeah.
Like, way more of them.
Maybe there's
Yeah.
multiple tribes out there, you know?
Which again begs the question.
No, I
why-
think they're all in the States.
Clearly. And they're all white.
Yeah.
I hate
just
this. This fucking show. Sometimes it's just too much for me.
Yeah, we had a really good episode last week, a really like solid, quality writing with time after time. We had to balance the scales a little.
Yeah.
I'm sad I missed that one.
That would have been much better. We'll get you on for a good episode again
Yeah.
soon. When you can actually enjoy rather
It's
than just
okay.
drag on.
It's fun to shit talk to.
Yeah. Especially when it's this ripe with material.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we, much like the writers of Supernatural, have beat the dead horse. And now it is time for our final and favorite section of the episode, our character blessings. Who would you guys like to watch going forward from this episode into the rest of the season, and how would you bless them?
Not someone to watch going forward. Because
Well, yeah, fair enough.
But I would like to bless Emma because she really, what a shitty life that was a day, 2 days,
Oh,
3 days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, she's a monster and made some choices, but also like she didn't really have any choice. And yeah,
She's lying to Dean, but everything she says is accurate.
Yeah.
Well,
Like she's
yeah.
playing it, but everything she's saying is true.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she does like she's just learning how to exist. The only thing that she knows knows is what these people are telling her to do. Like, she doesn't have any other choice. And she literally just was born.
Imagine having to be a full adult making decisions immediately after beginning to exist.
Does she know the internet exists?
She doesn't know anything.
That's what I'm saying. She doesn't know fucking anything.
She literally does not know anything.
How did?
She's just a baby.
Just born. She's a little baby.
How fast are there like education programs? Because that kid learns to talk at like 5 hours old, full complete sentences.
It's again the logic
Doesn't
of
really
some of
make
this
sense.
doesn't.
And it's bits like that make me lean towards them actually being monsters. But because for a long time in the episode, I was like, I mean, they're not really monsters. They're just like really, really strong humans. Like the
Right, you're like, maybe
restriction
this is
definition here.
They're humans with some extra strength, but the like
Yeah.
cognitive abilities.
Yeah,
Poor Emma.
Yeah.
deserved
know.
better for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Also, like one day to bond with your mom,
Mm.
and then
I know. And like, she's so this like little 6-year-old who is just taken away from her mom.
All Amazonians have severe attachment disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Renny, what about you?
I was also gonna bless Emma. So I will bless Lydia, because what a shitty life.
Yeah.
Like she had to
also,
like
how old is she technically?
yeah, exactly.
Oh
No,
At
that's what I'm
best-
thinking.
At best 2 years.
Oh.
Unless
Like-
she was part of the first wave. Holy shit. What if she was part of the first wave of this string of like 5 murders?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, I know. Like, how many times do these women have to do this? Like, close together. Like, it's just, it's really fucked up. And I felt for her. It felt like when they were on the date at the beginning of the episode,
Well,
she was so like fake and like
no.
Yeah.
clearly unhappy. And maybe that was acting, but I read into it as her character. Yeah. Go ahead, Sam.
also, and she could have been lying, but when Dean says, "Is this your first?" she says yes.
Oh, true. True.
Oh,
So that
shit.
probably makes her.
Young.
Probably makes her too.
Probably makes her part of this cycle, this
Yeah.
first wave of kids. So she's probably at most a couple of weeks old.
Well, no, because I think they do every 2 years.
Yeah,
like I
they
think
do
they
every
all
2
have.
years.
So I think she'd be 2. I think based on the way they explain it, like
Oh, okay,
because
so if-
otherwise they would
okay,
never
okay.
stop. Otherwise they'd just constantly be.
Well, and
Okay,
they say
okay.
something about being of childbearing age too. Like
Right.
they have to get
Okay, thank God. Well,
Yeah.
two's not much
Still,
better.
two's not better.
Fuck.
better. Not better.
Anyway, I just feel for Lydia and like, all of them. It's just a shitty hand to be dealt.
Yeah,
Mhm.
their lives don't
So-
seem very good.
I would bless them with like freedom and autonomy and
A little less murder,
independence. Yeah.
A little
Just
less.
a little bit.
Yeah.
a little bit more.
And have children ripped away from you. Like,
Yeah, a little more lets you let you reach like maturity in a normal amount of time.
mhm.
This reminds me of like the clones from Star Wars. Like they were aged up pretty fast and just bred for war. And the Star Wars, the Clone Wars show goes really into how they feel about that and how they actually like have opinions and personalities and aren't all the same, et cetera, et cetera. I wish we had a fraction of that effort put into this episode,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
but no.
All it is like Lydia being kind of sad when Emma has to go away.
But
yeah.
like
And then she
not.
doesn't appear again.
Yeah, she just doesn't show up.
They're like,
Yeah.
you're not important anymore.
Yep.
It's again very sexist because again, these women just exist to have babies. Like even in this all women society, the women
Yeah.
still just exist to have babies, which like is so fucked up. Like
There's never any explanation of their motivations outside of procreation every 2 years. Like, are they the Illuminati behind the scenes, like controlling everything? Because that would like make this whole story way more interesting.
Mhm.
But no.
these were blessings and now they've turned into more ranting. I'm gonna bring us back and I'm gonna bless Dean. I want to bless him specifically for actually that first conversation that he has with Lydia, where you can very much tell that he is faking it. This is him trying to make himself feel better and trying to make himself feel normal by like flirting and hooking up with someone. But you can sort of tell how hollow it is. And yeah, just like a blessing for Dean in the headspace he's in, because it's not a good headspace before this episode, and this episode did not help. No?
Absolutely agree. I'm going to jump in and throw my blessing towards Dean as well. Sam can get by no blessing this week. Fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I love you. But anyway, This is Dean's first hookup since Cass has been gone. And his
Yep,
most
it
recent, like,
is.
it very much has the vibes of I am going through emotional distress and I'm looking for sensual pleasures to try to cope with that because my boyfriend is gone and I just want to get some dopamine hits out of this.
Yeah.
And it very does not work.
No, it backfires on him quite drastically, and it doesn't do any good for him emotionally. Like it just stunts him more. And a blessing to everybody who's been through that. I've been there. I feel like most people have tried, but you can do better. It's not a good blessing. It's kind of shameful.
No, but
Believe in
you get what
yourself
you're
that you
meaning.
can do better.
Yeah, and that you deserve better, and that like
Yeah.
the feelings suck and that experience sucks, but you don't have to be okay. You don't have to do the thing that you think will make you be okay. You can
Nope.
actually just like be.
And that's all right.
That's all right. And hopefully it will get better for them soon.
Oh, we've still got 7 more seasons, 8 more seasons. Fuck. I don't think it's happening, but I do think a strong female character is going to come into this season soon.
You
and
do.
I've been waiting for her for a long time. But anyway,
we will yeah. That's all
anytime
we
I
can
say if I say some ominous stuff about the future and it goes like really awkwardly silent for a while, I'm like, oh wait, did I kill the conversation? And then I realize that everybody else is just like letting it die because if they say anything, it'll be spoilers. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. My bad. I forgot, guys.
It's not you, Noah. It's
No.
not you. It's not you.
It's supernatural.
It's supernatural.
It's the
okay.
whole premise of our show.
Give us like 2 more seasons, and Sam will also not know what's going on.
Yes.
True. We'll be
wait.
in the same boat. I'm excited for
But
that.
it'll just be me. Then I'll have to have Elena on with us for many episodes, so I have someone to like.
Otherwise, you're going to be blowing up their phone like, oh my God, they just said this. Oh my God, they just said this. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. I need
It's
someone I can
so good.
surreptitiously text when one of you says something insane that's about to happen.
Yep. I like that.
Yeah.
Text me.
I will also text you. Yeah, you will also be one of my texts.
Get a group chat. Well,
Yeah.
we have
As we
group
figured
chats.
out.
It's fine.
Oh,
Okay.
so funny. Renny forgot that she had seen the whole show. We were talking about season 15 recently, and Renny's like, "Yeah, no, I haven't seen 15 yet." And I was like,
No, I've seen 15. I knew I had seen 15. I thought that I didn't watch like 13, 14.
"Yes."
And then I was asking August what the plot lines were, and they were telling me, and I was like, "No, I've seen that. Oh yeah, I've seen that
Like,
too."
"No, you've seen
Okay, no, I've seen the whole show.
the whole thing. You haven't seen Winchester yet.
You just
Which is already up there.
disassociated for a little bit there.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair,
There's a lot of it.
There's a lot of plots. It's a lot of plots. And also sometimes no plots at all. So you have that to look forward to.
I love it.
That's maybe where we should end.
And it brings us right up to the end of the episode, guys. This has been a fantastic time. Thank you so much, Renny, for coming back and coming on this episode. It was a blast. It was great to catch up.
Thanks for having me. It was fun as always.
Anytime.
Mhm.
Because
We
then you get to
look
have
at
like have
Nate.
time with August one-on-one. And that's like even better. Like win.
Fun.
Win.
Yeah.
Thank you
It-
also to August and Sam for coming on. You guys were also great. I didn't want you to like, this was great. It was great.
There's that awkward sounds again, but this time it had nothing to do with
This time it was you.
Yep. Don't
Anyway,
worry.
if
That
you
awkward
like our
silence was
show,
cut.
if you like our show, you can subscribe to Saving People Queering Things wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you like the show, maybe share with a friend. If you want to reach out to us in any other way or see what we are up to on other social media,
Please do.
you can join our Discord server, find links to all of our social media pages, and listen to all of the season mixtapes. All of that is at our website, and that is queeringthingspodcast.com.
Also, up there on the website and on where we release these episodes, we also have our other show, Queering People Saving Throws, which is our D&D adventure with KJ of Supernatural Opinions. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. We release every other Friday-ish.
We are very quickly coming up on our season 1 finale.
Yeah.
At least in our recordings, not in the released episodes. Whoops. Sorry, guys. I've hyped this up for a few times. I'm going to stop doing that because
There's a bunch of episodes to listen to if you want something that is different than our normal content, but
just
a lot
as
of the same
fun. Be sure to ride along with us next week as we explore season 7, episode 14, Plucky Pennywhistle's Magic Menagerie. Fittingly enough, through the theme theme of strangeness because, hey, that's right, it's yet another sibling episode. Make sure to tune in. It's going to be a strangely fun time.
It's going to be so fun. I'm so excited. I always love when we do our big sibling episode.
They are the most chaotic.
Wild.
Some of our longest records, but it's always worth it.
Always.
Thank you all for coming along for the ride, and we wish you a peaceful road until we meet again.